Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, the summary for day 26, which is yesterday, 21 March. The timing now is 12, is around noon in Ukraine, so I'm actually very late to do this summary because I just got off the phone call with with the. So if you have followed me, or probably in my comments, I mentioned that I'm one of the viewers is actually having had his family stuck in Mariupol. So I just got a call with gone through a call with him, and I got good news that his family is out of Mariupol and now in Berdyansk. So I'm very happy and very glad. And so that so for those who don't believe it, there's nothing I can do about it. So let's go. So now the map looks very busy, right? Yeah, because over the past 24 hours, I got so much more additional information after I went to dig in Twitter. So now it looks very crowded. So start off with the Russian attack another Foreign Legion camp, this time at Nova Lyubomirka, which is actually off Rivne. This is the third strike on a Foreign Legion camp. So after the first one at Lviv, the second one, which is here at Overwatch, and then now at Rivne. So I think they are trying to send a message because every strike they came out with an announcement about it. So they are trying to warn foreign fighters from entering, and it looks like they are targeting foreign legion camps exclusively. So it's like once they get they get information about it, they will actually hit it. So and as per I always mentioned in my previous channels, do not go to Ukraine. Do not go to Ukraine. If you feel like you want to fight for the Ukrainians, for their freedom against the oppressor, please wake up. This is not the Taliban. This is a full-fledged army. More in full-fledged army wars, people dies like in the hundreds of thousands. In World War One, I just watched a documentary yesterday about World War One because I was talking about trench warfare in one of my videos. Every single battle lasts for weeks, and then they die in 250,000 people. So human life are cheap. You are just a pawn if you go there. So don't do it. Don't do it. No information about this alleged troops in Luchanki that is walking or traveling along the border. I was digging around, like searching terms around all these places that is near to Luchanki. I haven't seen anything, and the terrain looked like shit. So it looks like moldy ground. So it's not. I didn't really get anything. So there are rumors that Russians are moving towards Overwatch. So not sure about that. There's also rumors of Russia attacking Makariv, and then there's a rumor about the Ukrainians retaking Makariv. But all those are one-liners and a single photo of a person putting a Ukrainian flag on the window. This kind of things I don't kind of believe. So going to Kiev front, I need to remember not to the Ukrainians blew up the last bridge to Irpin. So previously they blew up this bridge. This is the one that you see from all around the world, where the refugee crosses that small little river. Now they blew up this railway bridge here. So these railway bridges, you can actually still go have infantry go past. Vehicles I'm not so sure, but you definitely can have infantry running past it. Now they have blown it up. I just say I'm not supposed to okay. So this actually signifies that the Ukrainians might be giving up the Irpin area. They are kind of had enough of fighting around here. Maybe the losses is too much. They cannot sustain the front line over here. So maybe they want to go behind the river and build a defense line around the along this river. So and it's actually more defendable than actually fighting an urban warfare situation. They could dig in along the defense the tree line, although of course the danger is just as much as you are at anywhere, and lesser in the residential building, because there's no direct line of sight, so it's not so easy to shoot you when you're inside residential area. But if you are on the tree line, while it's easier for you to shoot them, it's easier for them to shoot you too. So I don't think they will build a defense line here. I think it will be along the tree line to prevent Russians from moving further into the city. So for the Russians, they will, if they take Irpin, then they will have the initiative to launch attack from any point along the river, because they can just build a pontoon bridge and just cross. They might try Horenka, because Horenka, there's a highway around here and going all the way south into Kiev. But the forest area can be prone to ambush, and I'm quite sure the Ukrainians, what is this thing? What the hell is this? This looks like a military camp of sorts. So the Ukrainian forces can actually camp all around the forest here to kind of make it harder for the Russians to take. My opinion is that the Russians may not go into the forest area. They will be very happy with Horenka and Irpin. This is my gut feeling, because there is still no indication that the Russians actually want to take Kiev. So going into Kiev, the Russians strike a shopping mall that is being used by the Ukrainian forces as an artillery base. So actually I should move this here, because this building here is being used as an artillery base. There's a MLRS vehicles parked all along here, and this is where they resupply and rearm, and then they will start to drive out to certain different parts of Kiev and then launch their missiles. After that, they will return back to base. How we know this is because one of the launchers was tracked by a drone, a Russian drone, and the Russian drone just followed it back all the way from the launch site all the way back to their base, and that's how they found out where they actually do the rearming. And as a result, they shot a ballistic missile into this, and this entire building here, this part of the building is totally flattened, like the word is like flattened, like seriously flattened. And all the entire building here, all the site is totally blown up. So not sure what kind of weapon they actually used. When I first saw the video, when it first came out, I thought it was a Kinzhal, but they did not boast about it. About the Kinzhal, the Russian Defense Ministry say that they will continue to use Kinzhal in this conflict. So the two usage of the Kinzhal is not going to be exclusive. They're going to continue to use it in the conflict. I'm not sure if they will continue to report about the usage of it, and perhaps this shopping mall is actually one of them, just to make a statement. So I'm not so sure. And okay, let's go to another. I don't want to add any more things to that. If you are wondering why it is gray, I have mentioned it before. These two cities actually have an agreement with the Russians to stay neutral. So they keep their Ukrainian flag. No Russian troops will be inside, but no one will obstruct traffic, so life can go on in these two places. And so they went neutral. So the entire northern area here is actually safe. It's actually secured by the Russians. Of course, we cannot. Just as much as I say similar things to here, please do not mistake this for totally no Ukrainian troops. Is because there is always a lot of places that the Ukrainian troops can actually infiltrate into, like hunter squads, like very small squadron with ATGMs and all sort of mines or all sort of weapons. They can actually still infiltrate and do guerrilla warfare. So I just want to make this disclaimer first, because war is messy. War is not like the ancient times where two great armies stand face to face in the open field. A war is no longer honorable. War is now very dirty. So, and it has been dirty since maybe World War One. So that's the reality. No news regarding the supposed attack on Trotsky. No idea about this. I have to say I'm very impressed with the defenders at Oktiaka. These guys held the city and the line since day 2. They got attacked on day 2 and then held the line all the way till today. It's impressive. It's seriously impressive. The Russians have no idea how to break and take this city. Oh, so talking about Russians not able to take this city, I want to also highlight about this operation. I personally do not believe that the Russians came in with a super clear plan and then they like mass achieve every single minor objective. I actually don't think so. They have a macro plan to liberate Donetsk and Luhansk. That's for sure. And then they have a plan to attack from 5 different fronts, so that to stretch the Ukrainian military. Just like if you play football, you tell your wingers to go all the way to the line, the sideline, so that you will pull the defenders away from the center, so that you can open up more space for your attackers to go in. Something to that kind of extent. So I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. So for example, when the Russians in the earlier days of war, they went to Mykolaiv. Their objective, of course, is to take Mykolaiv. But when they fail to do so, they start to do something else. So war is often very opportunistic. So once you capture whatever city you can capture that is along your way, and if you can't, you do not. For example, they might have a military objective to take Odessa, maybe take Mykolaiv and then go down to Odessa. Maybe that's the original plan. But after they failed to take Mykolaiv, they changed their plan and then they started to go eastward. That could be something that they actually did. So do not assume that no, this is actually their plan. It could be very opportunistic. If the Ukrainians allow them to, they will take it. And once they take it, they'll change their battle plan and then they'll go for Voznesens and then take the nuclear power plant, or maybe go and attack Heavy Ray. And that sort of thing is opportunistic. Similarly, for all these cities and towns that being encircled and sieged, it's the same. Should there be no resistance, the Russian will take it. For example, Chernihiv, should there be no resistance here, the Russian would be happily taking it, and then they will probably send these forces elsewhere to siege another place. And if they decided to fight on, and then the Russians will have to adapt and deal with the sieging. Similarly for Kiev, if the Ukrainians decided to run away from Kiev or retreat, or the leadership run away, then the Russians will just move in and take Kiev, and then of course the entire story of the war will change. So it's always opportunistic in war. So that's just what I want to add. No news regarding the fighting for Zolohiv. Or maybe I did not went to search for it. I think there's a there's a viewer of this channel that actually stays there. Hopefully stays near there. So hopefully he or she will be able to provide us some information in the comments. No news regarding Kharkiv front. So I have decided to remove the Izium plus. So the plus is removed. So Sudanok, Barvinkov, and this little Husarivka here, I have removed because I had the lack of information and progress beyond these regions may signify that the Russians are actually eliminated or they have retreated from this area. And I think there's good evidence that they are driven back by the Ukrainians. So the fighting is now primarily around south of Izium. No news regarding this Kayamka because there's way too many places called Kayamka in Ukraine. So it makes it almost impossible to find information about it. And I'm still assuming status quo around the south of Izium. There is a chatter that I saw on Twitter, I think. They say that the south of Izium, the entire down south of the river, this half of the city is taken by Izium, but I'm not convinced. so at the moment we're gonna leave it as such and we see how it goes. Let's go to Donetsk. No news about around here. No more claims from Ukrainians saying Rubizny is still theirs. I haven't seen a second video of them saying we are still here. So I don't believe the Ukrainians in that words. So you may realize there's a lot more so-called these castle icons. This is from a tweet by this Kylie Nixie, this pro-Ukrainian account. So she quoted an operational report where they actually mentioned about all these positions of the Russian operates in these areas of the settlement of all these places, which I proceeded to enter into the map, which kind of corroborates my front line. Some of them are in front of my front line, so I actually updated the front line a bit. So the interesting thing is I actually cannot find this information in the official report from the Ukrainian side. Because I have been following them on Telegram, the official one, and I also went to their website to find. However, I cannot find this list, so I'm not sure where she got it or he got it. But Kelly should be a she, right? So no idea. So anyway, this is why I have to put in the source, because I have no idea how she got this information, because I have been following the same general stuff, but I don't seem to see this. So I'm wondering how she got exclusive information. So Popasna is still fighting. They are still stuck there. And then the Russians, or rather the Donetsk forces, captured Verkhan-Otorske, or maybe it's Verkhan-Notorske, because I think the apostrophe n means you have to read this n. So Verkhan-Notorske, yeah. So they captured this difficult position, and then they are now fighting in Novelivka, Druha, Kamyamka. You see Kamyamka again, right? And also Kronohorivska. Then there's also report of fighting at Kerimske over here. So there is this major advance across multiple points of this entire front at Donetsk. And the front that we have been following for the past 2 weeks continues, where the Russian forces recapture Solotke. So this entire area is fought by Donetsk forces. This area is fought by the Russian forces. So they have captured Solotske for the I don't know, the third or fourth time. So now they are rumored or said to be moving towards Novomikhailivka. So no news regarding Novokrenka as well as Shatarsky. Looks like this line is particularly strong, and this is also a congruent entrenched position, if I'm not mistaken. Especially there's a river running through. So this makes defending and a lot of towns as well. So this makes defending much better than the offensive one. So which is kind of corroborates my assumption that there will be this is like the third line, I believe, of defenses, because we started off all the way from here and from Farhad, and then the Russians push forward. So now this line. No news regarding Marinka other than I think there's some fighting in Marinka. I'm not sure if they actually able to push out or they are still actually fighting around here. My gut feeling is that they are actually fighting around here. They cannot get out of it. So this is likely what had happened. No news regarding Huyaipo. There's an interesting map that I saw from a Chinese Twitter user. They actually drew the Huyaipo as taken by the Russians, and then they actually drew a line across, I think, across here and move up. Maybe to Zelensky High. So it's like their map is like this. There's a penetration through here and then go up. And I was like, how did he get that information? Like, I totally never saw anything about this. Like, on his map, Huyaipo is taken by the Russians and it's going this way and going up. Because I cannot find any corroboration on that, which is also why I also like to share that I do not take information from other analysts or OSIN specialists. OSIN specialists maybe, but not other analysts like me who are doing all this mapping, because there is a danger of groupthink. So I don't want to be having groupthink with any other mappers, because I'm not a mapper per se. I just happen to do a map so that I can see what's happening. Some of them are mappers, and it's not good to reference and take information from their map to put it in my map, because in the end then we'll go into this fantasy world where it's actually not the actual situation around. So similarly, I saw a lot of comments telling me to reference this map or reference that person. I don't do that because I want to take the information from my own sources, so that if my analysis or map is similar to the other person's analysis and map, then you can be quite sure that those information is absolutely very close to the truth. So if ours have some differing points, then that's good. That means we have a different perspective that we can study. And I mean, not we can study, but you can study, and you can decide which one is more accurate. So, and also another thing, please do not go to other YouTube channels and tell them that, oh, my map is better or more accurate, or my reports are better or more accurate. Please do not do that. I know of one user which did that, and then the other YouTuber was very pissed off. Please don't do that. Please do not create the bad blood for me with other YouTubers or analysts. It's not necessary. We are all just trying to do our best to report. I'm sure he have his sources, and even things that the other YouTubers may report on or analysts may have said, I did not say, doesn't mean I did not see it, and doesn't mean that is not true. Because it's simply because I did not think that it's important. For example, in that case where the other guy was pissed off, the user mentioned that I never mentioned about flooding in Kiev, in the north of Kiev. I actually saw the information about the flooding in the north of Kiev. So because the dam was destroyed by the Ukrainian forces to slow down the Russian advance, and thus there is flooding, I think, around this area. But it was not important to me because flooding doesn't change military positions. They just make military positions or offense and defense more difficult. That's all. So which is why I do not report on the flooding. So it doesn't mean that it did not happen. I do not report on every single thing that I see, because I see it a lot. So hopefully you guys can understand, and please do not go and piss off other YouTubers. Later I become the common enemy. I don't want to be Russia. So I just want to put this. I just want to address this thing. Before I go to Mariupol, I'll talk about Berdyansk. The port of Berdyansk is now operational for the Russians. They just had their first supply run. They have unloaded humanitarian supplies, fuel, uh, and from what I saw from the photo and videos, they unloaded quite a number of armored fighting vehicles. I didn't see tanks, but I see BMPs and some other vehicles, armored vehicles. So we can be assured that the Russians will start to reinforce their forces through Berdyansk, because it's a shorter route than driving through tremendous terrain and distance. So, but the good thing is that because with this supply port means there could also be humanitarian supplies coming in, so the people around here will be able to have food to eat, have supplies, canned food, or some luxury. Because the closest point, from my understanding, that life go back to normal, I think it's Melitopol. I think Tokmak a little bit. So I know this too is being advertised by the Russians as life going back to normal, especially in Melitopol, because they have been resupplying directly from Crimea. So the shop owners and the people doing all this trading, they actually drive all the way to Crimea to buy the stock and then go back to sell. So shops are open in Melitopol, and hopefully with Berdyansk you can see more life going back to normal around this region. So going to Mariupol, there is no progress in terms of fighting, or at least there's no news. However, what happened was that the Russians the day before yesterday offered evacuation corridor for the soldiers, and then the condition is that they have to drop all weapons and ammunition and walk out unarmed. Then they actually even came out with how they can do it. So the Russian positions, they will be raising a red flag, and then the Ukrainians, they have to raise the white flag, and then they will have to walk out. And they are promised free access all the way to Zaporizhia. Of course, how they actually going to get there, with vehicle or no vehicle, I have no idea. But the Ukrainian forces rejected the demands, so they are not going to surrender. And then came this statement from Pushlin, which is actually, you should remember this name, Pushlin. He is the leader of the Donetsk People's Republic. He's called Denis Pushlin. So he kind of dampened the excitement about people getting excited about Mariupol going to fall. He said that taking Mariupol under control is not a matter of 2 or 3 days or even a week. He is not so optimistic about 2 or 3 days or even a week, and the issue can be closed within that period. He said, unfortunately, the city is so big, and then several thousand of the soldiers from the Ukrainian side is still in the city. So they say that the strong point now is in Azovstal plant, and then just Azovstal alone is 11 square kilometers. So basically, he said, don't hope for a quick end to Mariupol. And if you go and watch my Mariupol report, I will have mentioned a reference to the battle at Malawi in Philippines, how a much smaller city took 5 months against just 1,000 ISIS fighters. So this is, and we are talking about several thousands and a much larger area. This fight can last for a very, very long time. So some commenters say that Malawi is different because they have rainwater, so the water is less of an issue, but the water is much of a bigger issue in Mariupol. I believe that is a valid point. Weather also is much colder, and I have no idea how this will go, to be honest. And so hopefully things will be fine. And with one of this friend and also viewer who had his family evacuated, they stay around here, we can double verify that this area is cleared because they stay around here. So we can show that this is actually definitely taken by the Russian forces or the Donetsk forces, and hopefully more people will be able to escape. and less people will die. Let's move on away from Mariupol to the mines are still floating away. He's freaking out Romania and what's the other country? Romania and Bulgaria. Yeah, they are freaking out about this. So apparently the mine was actually chained up, but because there's a storm, the chain broke, so some of the mine floated away. So that's what happened. On Mykolaiv front, the Ukrainian forces is reportedly attacking Oleksandrivka. Known. So this is corroborating the information that we had the day before, where they are moving down this road. No news regarding the forces at Posad-Pokrovske, whether they are actually going to move towards Kherson. And because of this advance, I decided to delete all these roads. Previously I've did all these routes. There is no linking up all the different operating bases. I have deleted them because I don't think the Russians will be able to travel around anymore. There might be still an entrenched position here at Kashpero Mykolaiv, but because there's no news about the Ukrainians taking it, there's also no news about Highly Sinov or Galisinov, Galisinovo, sorry, is the Russian name. No news about them. They are most likely still there because this is an entrenched position. This is a very well defended position. So however, I did remove this. There is this 4 operating base here. I deleted away because I don't think it's possible for them to be there. There is a tweet by one of the OSIN guys on Twitter where the Ukrainians found a map for the battle plan for Mykolaiv in the Russian command base. So I believe that map is actually the one that is around here. So that command center is actually probably the one here. They captured it. So I think that is a very weak but possible corroboration that this position is now taken or abandoned by the Russian forces. If you are interested into the battle plan, basically it's very simple. There's one line of encirclement, a second line of encirclement, a third line of encirclement, which is nonsensical. So anyway, moving on to Kherson. So there is around one of the square. I'm not sure where it is. It's near their government building. There's a pro-Ukrainian rally. So the people are moving towards this flagpole, which the flagpole have a Ukrainian flag, as far as I can tell from the video, from what I can remember. And maybe the Russians are actually lowering the flag, and then the crowd was like moving forward towards the flag area and then carrying Ukrainian flags and shouting. And then finally the Russians got pissed. They they threw a few flashbangs and then fire into the air, and then they fire into the air. It's not just one shot. They basically like go on full auto like that, and then everybody just run, and then at least one person got shot, because there's one video of a person got shot twice, one on the leg and another bullet I think is on the arm, I think, and he was bleeding quite badly. And the Russian, but he's quite of a bit of distance from the Russian forces, so he's not like very near. So maybe it's not a case of him trying to attack a Russian soldier. Maybe it's just an accidental misfire that that went horizontal and caught him, maybe, not sure. And but he did have this Ukrainian colors tied to his arm, like some of those soldiers. So that's a stupid idea. And they got shot. So in my video in the Mykolaiv one, I did mention that I do not encourage unarmed civilians to try to obstruct Russian soldiers. Don't risk your life like this. This basically commit suicide. And the last part is for this one, I also got this information similarly on Twitter, which I cannot find on the official general staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. So this information also eluded me, which is very weird. Basically, they spell out the positions south of Kryvyi of the Russians, and it does looks authentic if you ask me, because previously we have two forces moving up the two roads here, and then it confirms that the forces at the Novovorosovska actually have taken the city, and they actually also spread out themselves across this entire front. So I do not think they will be attacking Kryvyi because it's a stupid waste of military forces. They probably just there to draw Ukrainian forces away from other places into Kryvyi to thin out the Ukrainian forces in the fronts, to prevent them to be able to go into reinforcement. So how this could work out is like maybe there's a convoy of forces moving towards Dnipro about to reinforce maybe this front here. Then on the way to Dnipro, suddenly the Russians are here. Then the commander will just tell them to, okay, change your plans, you all go to Kryvyi. So they just go to Kryvyi. So this is how it works. And according to one user, I think from Indonesia, commented in Bahasa Indonesia, he or she said that this is exactly how the Russians usually fight. They always fight and retreat from the different flanks to totally mess up the defense, the defenders' positions and operation. So they will like maybe they'll attack this place and then they will retreat. Then suddenly they will attack this place, then they will retreat. So the Ukrainians will have to entrench and then run away to entrench here, and then run away and entrench here. So this is what he or she have observed, and I think that could be correct, because it makes totally no sense in the way how the Russians has operated in the Mykolaiv region, where they don't hold a front, they just move and run. So they say that this is he or she say that this is exactly the difference between the Russian military doctrine versus American, because the American, they will actually go in and they will hold a position, whereas the Russians never hold a position. They don't really like to hold positions. They actually like to they prefer maneuver warfare, and which this is also what I understood from about the Russians. So basically this is the summary for day 26. And then hopefully if you find this useful, please subscribe, please like, do share to your friends and your community that is might be interested in all these things. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next update. So I haven't dig any information for day 27 yet, so I have no idea what happened. I haven't even take a glimpse of the reports, so I will need to go and dig, and I'll probably come back to you in 7 or 8 hours perhaps. Yeah, because I still need to do my other work. So yeah, I'll see you soon.